Committee, we have a quorum, myself, Co-Chair Boyd, Committee Member Newton, Bajay, Smith. Also with us, Councilman Hodges, Spell, Burns. We have Jankowski from the City Attorney's Office, Dr. Health. Let's see. Which one are you Yeah. 9424 proposed amendment to municipal code ordinances, chapter 15.08, building permits and fees, amend section 15.08.
So,
Is this
Building permit and related fees. Are we supposed to be going to sign?
Correct.
Okay, and he's not here?
The representative affiliated with this ordinance isn't here. Heard from him early this morning, but not since. So since he's not here, this is the new power request.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to table 9424.
Can someone else please make?
Oh, I can't do that.
I second.
Sorry about that.
Just a question before you table it. I know table is non-debatable.
I didn't make a motion.
He didn't make it.
That's right. Are we gonna have time? Because time is of the essence.
Yeah, but
So
you
we
can make
can-
it, right? If you can't make it, you can't make it.
Yep.
And this is a very important thing with the fees, and, you know, we talked about upping them, and
Which is why it was important for him to be here. But he is not, so we have to.
9424, that's the one that we talked about, the fees, upping the fees for building permits. What else was it?
So, through your chair, this has to do with Class 1 renewable energy sources. And so there's a thought to modify it in a way that going forward, different possible developments would be exempt under certain circumstances for certain equipment.
I move that we table it since he's not here.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Any opposed?
Yeah, he's supposed to be here.
Scott Gilmartin from New Power.
We remember him, what was it, 2 months ago?
2 months, yeah. Maybe
Wasn't
last
it?
month. Last
Was
month.
it? It's like forever ago. I got items tabled.
Thank you.
That's the.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The next item is 9524, proposed amendment to municipal code ordinances, chapter 5.48, street vendors, motor vehicle vendors. This is more my co-chair's thing.
I know she's on.
Is someone here to speak? Are you going to speak on that, John?
I mean, I help, but Ashley's here too. Essentially, all we're doing is we're raising the penalty to $200 for people that violate our temporary food vendor ordinances.
Raising it from what?
Here she
The
is.
violator
She
ordinances.
can explain it.
For the food trucks. Yes. Well, actually, from 100 to 200 for some things, and for some reason, we were only fined $50 if they were operating without a license, but we're gonna make that the same.
200 as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a question?
The hookah laws, does this pertain to them too? Hookahs?
No, this is just the food truck.
Just food trucks? Okay.
No, it's not 24.
Through the chair.
Yes, Frank.
How about the little vendors with the push cart that sell the ice cream also? Do they need,
They need permits as well, yes.
How much are their permits, if I may ask, in the chair? Maybe we need to up theirs too.
That late fee will also apply to the food carts as well. Yeah.
Oh, is that the highest fine we could have? Also, what about the issue that many of these food trucks, which are parking in illegal places, are also putting generators and kerosene tanks on
So the
public right of
high-
ways?
Through the chair, that pursuant to the statute, the highest civil fine we can impose is $250. There's another thing that does need to eventually be changed in the ordinance. It refers to the old zones, which no longer exist. So somehow we need to figure out, because it says they can operate in certain zones, and those zones don't exist anymore. So somehow planning and zoning needs to coordinate with OPED and figure out where this should apply.
Okay, but the revisions are only about exposing food, merchandise, whatever. What about the serious issue of putting generators and kerosene tanks on sidewalks, public right-of-ways, the back of their trucks on streets? That's serious. There's nothing here about that. Why wouldn't they be fined for that?
Through the chair, I can answer that question. So, I've been having a lot of those issues in the 139th district. The food trucks are under the leadership of the police department. Although they do get their permit from the health department, the regulations of the food trucks are under our Bridgeport Police Department. So what you need to do is start sending emails to the chief of police, to the assistant chief Greg, who is mainly the go-getter with that, with finding those trucks and ticketing them. And that'll solve some of the issues that are going on within districts, because the food trucks are starting to just plant along anywhere they want. For example, we have a food truck on Stratford Avenue which has 2 flat tires. They tagged it, over the weekend. I sent the picture out to the PD. They came out, they tagged it yesterday. They removed the tag today, but PD will be out tomorrow to tow it. We have some food trucks that are planted over on Newfield Avenue, which are obstructing the driving path of the road, so that was taken care of today. So you just have to send this stuff to the police department and just follow through with it and make sure that it's taken care of. But the health department does not oversee the food trucks with where they're stationed at, where they're not stationed at. That is part of the Bridgeport PD.
So I will respond, the CVS that closed up on Boston Avenue, there's a food truck there for a long time with it partially on the right of way, you know, the wide sidewalk up there on Boston Avenue, and had a generator on the street, and I did report it, and Chief Porter said it was his discretion and he was not gonna enforce it.
All right, so you need to report it to Joseph Estefan. He's the sidewalk and permit director. That's who you need to send it to. And I can guarantee you that it will be taken care of.
That's for sure. Yeah, they're popping up everywhere.
Michelle?
Yes, I have food trucks up in the 90 acres area, and I had a really serious problem with parking from the end of Eckerd Street all the way down to where the food truck was. So what I did was I called the engineering department, and I had that all taken care of, so there's no parking there now, there's minimum parking. So there, if you work with the city, as far as where that's concerned, I've had very much success. And I did have them come out as far as looking, they also were parking in front of the Veterans Park sign. I made sure that, you know, the police came out and they made sure that that was taken care of. So you just have to, unfortunately, sometimes you just have to keep after certain people, but I agree with my Councilwoman Nada Joseph from the Public Facilities. He's absolutely an amazing person. He's on target with everything. So if you need help with him, you can give him a call. Greg Hall, Engineering, asked to see if there was something you could do maybe about parking. But I've had success in that area. Thank you.
Can you repeat his name, Joseph?
Joseph Estephan, Estephan.
Amazing person.
Okay.
He is also the person that you all should contact regarding the tractor trailers in your district, because he's the one that goes out with the police officer, and he's the one that tags them, and immediately calls Bud to come tow him.
He's good.
So,
Need that.
Can I ask a question about that? I have a massive issue. So number one complaint I'm getting in my
we'll
district.
talk about that.
Wait, but it's private property, so he can't do that, right?
Can't do private property, no ma'am. Nope,
Now you go to
The
the
zoning enforcement officer.
yeah, can.
Right. Mr. Chair, if there's no more discussions, can I make a motion that we up the fines to $250?
Second,
Was it 200 or
200.
I like the number 250, but 200.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, what's next?
Do we have a new draft of the training?
Now we segue into the workshop for trailers.
oh, we finished?
One guy didn't show up. One
Oh,
guy.
this, so
He didn't show up.
9424 was
Thank
continued,
you.
oh, table?
He didn't show up.
Oh, okay. All right, that's even better.
He didn't show up. All right, this is the new stuff right here.
It's the latest draft, yes.
All right.
8 copies?
I can only make 8 because I was running out of time. But I can send it to you electronically if you want to see it.
I don't have a. Where's that? Ashley, can you make any copies in the back? There's only 8 copies here. And I wasn't at the Saturday meeting.
One second, guys.
I don't know if anybody else needs it.
I can send it, yeah.
How many more
All
copies?
right, this is, we don't have to do this.
No.
Who needs copies? Mark Anastasia wants a copy.
Yeah, Mark needs a copy.
Michelle needs a copy,
Are there more copies?
and Scott.
There were only
Michelle
8
and
May,
Scott.
she ran out of time. She's gonna try to go into the back where that little black and white copy area.
All right.
This is to the directory.
This is through Saturday?
Hold on.
6 copies?
Yeah.
No, I have 8. There were 8. Oh, she wants 6 more.
All right.
We left off,
It takes a while.
Saturday,
Maintain 5 pages.
26th. We went through chapter 17, civil service. That was a great meeting. It was a very productive meeting. We got a lot done. Taisha or Mark, what do you want to, do you want to follow up on things that we,
So the changes that are made in the new draft are only the changes that you all
proposed?
requested for chapter 17 with changing those certain folks would be nominated by the mayor and approved by the council. I believe it was OPM, OPED. Parks already has a process, so I think you should probably review Parks' process because they're approved by the Board of Parks Commissioners. So I'm not sure that you want to change that to the council since there's already a public agency with jurisdiction over that. But those are the only changes that were made. As far as the other ones that were made last week, when I wasn't here, I'll need to speak with someone about what that looks like, because I don't have anyone's notes. I did get some stuff from Faith, but it was hard to follow what was relative to what the commission wanted, and then what was approved actually by the council at those meetings. So I'll need to speak with
So they
someone.
were probably recorded, I mean, we have your recording here, perhaps Francis can send you what you missed.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't be going off of what nobody typed and sent you.
Mark?
I've been, and I apologize because I didn't finish it, I've been trying to go through with my notes. I'll try to get you that by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But I know, having struggled with my own reading, it'd be nice if it's compared to what other people submitted.
All right.
All right, so let's go to chapter 17 to see, just to make sure we're happy with that.
What page?
17. You're being recorded.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see nothing.
Chair, prior to 17, I think you had left off like halfway through chapter, the new the new chapter 5 rather.
Second.
We're up through section 5, if I recall, at least that's what my notes show.
I think you're right, Mark.
Ashley?
What page you on?
Page 20 and 21.
This was
Just put them on the screen.
city council.
We did a lot of talking about the Office of Legislative
Is that how we're supposed to
Services.
follow along?
And that's the last change I have.
And this is to change this public.
Oh, yeah, you have copies?
Yeah, I got that to go.
Through the chair, can we get a few minutes to get it on the screen?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know how we're supposed, we don't have it electronically.
Should have it.
I'm not getting Wi-Fi. My phone.
Oh,
They're trying to get, are you guys trying to get more or?
Are you talking about this? Yeah.
I'm trying to get it on the screen.
Right, I get it, but is anybody printing any or no?
This is,
Oh,
this is
because
something
that back door
from
is unlocked.
Councilman Lyons.
That room over there.
We just unlocked it.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I was gonna say, I was surprised I could open the door.
It wants to know.
This is the council rules, make sure committee.
Yeah. Mark, you want this from Michelle?
Did I have enough?
Tasha, do you want one?
Saturday?
And then I'll explain it. Does it need any more?
Make a motion to.
So I make a motion to, what is this on?
Exhibit.
Exhibit, the general code of chapter 2-10, and I wrote out, in reference to city council rules, there was a discussion that we had. So when I say exhibit,
We'll do 7, 29, 25,
Okay, just to give you a little bit of an explanation of this, there was a discussion of whether the president of the city council should have 2 votes. And I did a little bit of research, and it's almost like saying the mayor is the mayor, so he gets a vote, plus then he represents his district, which would be, I guess he lives in Black Rock, so then he would get a vote, or wherever he lives, I'm not sure, okay? So it's somewhere in the north end maybe, or whatever. But anyway, the whole bottom line is, the fact is, I'm not in agreement with that, and I tried to give a little bit of reason why, because it's written in Robert's rules that under the Robert Rules of Order, a council president, like any other member, is generally entitled to only 1 vote. While the president presides over meetings, they still participate as a member with the same voting rights as others, unless they are casting a vote to break the tie. Is by a ballot. So you could, I'll give you a couple minutes to read on this, because that to me is the only, that's the logical thing, because, you know, it was brought up that, you know, President of the United States or whatever, they all just, you know, they have 1 vote, they don't have 2 votes, because 2 votes would give them extra say in probably a particular matter, and, or a particular vote, let's say, would give them an extra vote on this particular thing, and when each other council person just gets 1 vote, just because the person's the president does not give that, what it gives them the right is as a tiebreaker, just like anything else, if they had a meeting like an ordinance, or if they had a budget, or you know, contracts, and whoever the chairperson is, that person's the same thing. They have 1, you know, they could vote if they have to break a tie, but this is, you know, they're as the head of the council, so this is just, if you want to take a minute and look at it.
Yeah, let me,
I'm not for it even for a tie.
phrase this. First of all, I've never seen a 10-10 tie, needless to say. When the mayor is chairing the meeting, the only function he has is to break a tie. He can't vote with the committee, he can't vote around. Think about this, and I don't agree with if it's a 10-10 and the bill fails.
Yeah, that's, my account's locked.
You have to give whoever's chairing the meeting that kind of authority could just limit the council president to one vote.
Excuse me, yeah, I'm sorry, it is one vote, but you are correct with the tie, so just through the chair. So you are correct.
So, I haven't read anything in Robert Rules of Order that says we changing it by charter. The council president shouldn't have two votes in case of a tie.
Robert's rules only applies if your own rules or the charter or an ordinance doesn't
Right.
prevail.
Right.
It's sort of the last resort, it settles disputes. I'm not saying, it's your decision whether you want to have two votes. I think what Councilman Newton is saying is, with your present setup, you always have the capacity to break a tie, because the mayor either breaks the tie or the council president, when presiding, gets that second vote to break a tie. So the question becomes one of, do you like that mechanism? And if so, you say the council president chairs the meetings as a regular vote and can also vote to break a tie. You don't have to do that. That's your choice.
Because right now, the way our charter is written, if it was a tie and she's chairing the meeting, she has the right to break the tie.
Correct.
Okay? And I guess there was a purpose for that when the charter was put together. Now, like I said, we don't get many 10-10 ties.
Well, the purpose was to maintain the capacity of the chair to break a tie, because the mayor has that authority. When he sits, the council president was not gonna defeat the ability to break a tie.
And so when the council president takes over the chair, she has two votes by charter now.
Only to break a
She acts
tie.
to break a tie.
And I don't even think, I could be right, but I don't even think it says to make a tie, or to affect the outcome. It's only to break a tie.
Right, you can't make the tie, because the mayor can't make the tie. All he can do is cast a vote in the case of a tie. So, I mean, why would we take the power away from the council president when we give the mayor that right to make a tie? I just don't
And the
think.
council president currently has that when chairing the meetings. But again, you can do whatever you choose through the charter.
Because right now, if she sat there right now, acting mayor, or whoever the council president is, they would have an opportunity to cast a vote as a regular council person, but in the case of a tie, they have the right to break that tie. So why would we give the mayor that kind of authority and not give the council president that authority? I don't understand that.
Just through the chair, I agree with you. I was just showing this, so I'm looking at it, and it's what I was hearing, maybe I misunderstood the conversation, is saying two votes plus a tiebreaker.
No.
Okay,
No, in the case of a tie,
And only.
right,
when it's a tie.
okay. That's why she
She got
showed
one
you this to
vote,
get
she got only
clarification.
one vote, like all of us
Right,
got.
agreed.
If there's in the case of a tie, she has the right or he has the right to break the tie. And I don't know why you would want to change that.
I just wanted clarification, because what I
No,
heard.
she don't have three votes.
I was wondering that, that's why I brought this
She
up,
doesn't have
to get
three
some
votes.
clarification.
She doesn't
Okay,
have three
thank you.
votes.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, I appreciate it.
Mayor Pereira?
Oh, I just want to say the Vice President of the United States only gets one vote. The United States Senate Leader Thune only gets one vote. Speaker Johnson of the House gets one vote. Matt Ritter, Speaker of the House in Connecticut, gets one vote. The Senator of the Legislature, Looney, gets one vote. I'm totally opposed to it. Our country's founded on one person, one vote, and I don't think voters will support that. Thank
Just to
you.
respond to that briefly, to at least set the record straight with respect to the US Senate. The vice president comes in to
Right.
break a tie.
That's
So
right.
there is a
That's
vice
what I was
president.
saying.
But they don't get two votes.
They don't get the
They don't
vote.
get
He
two
doesn't
votes.
but he doesn't chair the meeting.
He doesn't chair the
But there
meeting.
is a tie-breaking mechanism.
I'm opposed, and I'm gonna make sure my voters vote.
All right, this is not gonna be a civics lesson. Scott Burns?
Yeah, it could be, we need one.
So, if we're gonna have the city council president run the meetings, which I think is appropriate, he or she, with the power to make a tie or break a tie, still has essentially the same power that the mayor has now to break a tie. In which case, we don't need to give him or her two votes. Because if an item is up 9 to 10, and the council president, can't pass 2 votes to turn it over, then that's not expressing the will of the council or the will of the people. So if it's, let's say 9 to 9, and she wants to vote, she can, and break that tie of 9 to 9. So, when we're thinking of it, there'll never be a 10-10 tie. And if it is a tie, the item fails. So the council president would still have a fair amount of significant power to carry, chair that meeting and that item. So I don't think it makes much sense to add an extra vote to that person when the powers are still basically there. So, her vote is important, but to give that person to really flip the way things go, and, until we have, entirely different government, it doesn't make sense to kind of give 2 votes to a council president when we have a mayor, so.
Let me ask this, everybody that's been on the council probably over 10 years or whatever amount you serve, you probably can count on one hand whenever the mayor had to step into the top. I can't think of none.
No?
0.
You've been here since 18.
Okay? So I don't understand why you would give the mayor that opportunity and not give it to the person that's chairing the meeting. They don't have 3 votes. It's very rarely you have a 10-10 tie.
In all your tenure, seriously?
Never. Mark, you've been here, I don't recall any vote. I could be wrong. Council was,
I would, off the top of my head, I don't recall any of
right,
this.
I've never, even in recent history, those that have been here over 10 years, name one time you had a 10-10 tie and whoever the mayor was for Breezy, McCarthy, not McCarthy, but whoever,
Take it easy.
had to break the tie. I just think that if you're going to change the form of government, that you give the president an opportunity. Same opportunity we gave every mayor in this city.
I have a question. So if I'm correct, the mayor cannot break a tie to elect the president, and they cannot break ties on the ordinance. Am I correct, number 1? Correct. So now, if there was a 9-8 vote, the president will be able to vote because she'll make a change in the outcome. She can create the tie, and then she can vote to break the tie she created. Is that what we're saying?
You could put the same restrictions if you wanted to have the tie breaking. You could put the same restrictions on matters that the chair could not vote to break. It's entirely up to you as a body.
But I just want to say in committee, when there's a tie, it fails. So I don't understand why it would be different at the full council. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the matter, even if it fails in committee, still appears on the council agenda for full council action. That's why. It doesn't kill the matter.
That's right. It's still coming before the city council to have a
I'm a no.
vote.
My vote is no.
But again, you can do whatever the majority chooses to do.
So what are we on this? Scott.
Another hypothetical, if we're not talking 9-9 or 10-10 ties, matters where we need 14 votes. If you create a make or break situation, again, where the council president gets 2 votes, does he get
That's not a tie.
14 votes versus, or 15, so you go from 13-6 to now 15-6 or 12-6, that's what I'm
It
getting at.
depends on how
12-6
you
to 14-6, that's
That's
what
not
you're.
breaking a tie, so it depends on how you write it.
Right, but
I don't think, right now, the mayor wouldn't have that authority.
He wouldn't.
So,
No.
there's very limited authority, as Councilwoman Pereira has pointed out, where the chair has the ability to break a tie. It's not necessary that you have that capacity, but right now, you have a relief mechanism. If you don't want that with the council president chairing, that's your call. But breaking a tie doesn't mean creating or defeating a supermajority. That is, what you're thinking of is committee chairs. Oftentimes, committee chairs, and Robert's Rules does talk about this, oftentimes committee chairs preserve their impartiality by only voting where it quote-unquote affects the outcome.
Right.
And that means more than just breaking a tie. It also means, as you know, making a tie to defeat something or getting to a supermajority where you require a 2/3 vote, for instance.
That's true.
So, the old charter,
Current charter.
okay, so I already, the current charter has this language there, that the council president has 2 votes?
No.
No, okay, no, right? So what is the purpose of adding that the president gets 2 votes?
Well, if you look at the existing charter language, it's chapter 5, section 3. It's one sentence. It says, "The mayor shall preside at the meetings of the city council, but shall have no vote therein, except in case of a tie." And then it goes on to say, "The mayor shall not vote to break a tie in the election of council president or adoption of an ordinance." The distinction here, that language, if you wanted to have the capacity to break a tie, the language would be markedly similar to that, but only distinct in the fact that you've all understood that the council president should have a regular right to vote to represent the elected district that they ran on. So you'd have to tweak that language, but again,
But again, if it's not broken, put the current.
well, if it's not broken, just leave the mayor chair of the meetings.
So what we're trying to do is not have the mayor chair the
Right,
meeting?
right, right. We're changing it that the council president should chair the meetings. Mayor can only come as.
I agree with that.
That's the recommendation of the
That's the
Charter Review
recommendation.
Commission, and I got the sense, at least at our meetings last week, that the majority of the council was in favor of that. With this little wrinkle of how to deal with the voting power
I agree with that.
of the council president.
Not the 2 vote.
I'm okay with the mayor chairing the whatchamacallit.
Meeting?
So,
Okay. But hey, I just only one.
I think you should, if we're going to at least look at it, you should word it in a way. Mark, you should word it in a way that we do for the mayor and put some stipulations on it. That he or she cannot cause a tie and then turn around and break it.
I mean, it's easy enough to reword this one sentence by indicating that the council president shall preside at the meetings of the city council and shall have a vote the same as all other members, period. In addition, the council president, when presiding, or the presiding officer, because it may be the president pro tem or somebody else. So, in addition, the presiding officer shall have a second vote to break a tie except in the election of council president or adoption of an ordinance. It's easy enough to write, but the question is that what you want? If that's what the body wants, you'll type it up, put it in the
I
next
think what
time.
he's saying is kind of supportive.
Well, what I'm saying is, you put stipulations on it, so no council president can abuse those authorities. You're only able to vote in certain circumstances. And I think that's the guardrail.
Vote a second time in certain circumstances.
Right.
Yes.
So that would be the guardrails to protect the council from a council president thinking he's like the president in Washington.
But I haven't heard a consensus,
And
yet.
they
I
can do
know
whatever
Councilman
they wanna
Burns
do.
is against it, I think Councilwoman Pereira is against it. So, it's easy enough to write, but we gotta know what you wanna write.
Michelle?
No, I'm just agreeing.
Through the chair.
Yeah, Councilman Hodges?
I really don't got a problem with the mayor chairing, but not on a consistent basis. I mean, that's just how I feel, you know. I don't think he need to chair every meeting, And if we put in this, what meetings he does chair, or what months he does chair, or does not chair, I mean, I mean, that's just my opinion.
I don't know if that would, because if you're
So
gonna share,
it's
you're
what
gonna
you're saying,
share.
all or nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want a part-time
Right.
thing going on.
Part-time now? What are you talking
I mean, it's based on the individual, yes, but we still want, the thing is, we want continuity all around.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I think it takes the politics
Correct.
out of it. Because I don't have to tell y'all, when the mayor wants something, all you do is pick up the phone and call people.
No, I mean,
I'm just saying, you call certain people. You know, we need to operate as a council.
Agree, Ernie.
Okay, because either you want some authority or you don't want it. The mayor should not be chairing council meetings. Just like Stratford, just like New Haven, just like a lot of places.
It's like Congress.
All right,
I
like
agree.
Congress. So either you want to be in the big leagues or you still want to stay in the minor leagues. And we've been in the minor leagues too long.
Too long.
We need to control ourselves.
Listen, I know there was a statement, we don't need a civics lesson, and I agree. But don't operate under the illusion that because the mayor's not chairing the meetings, that the administration is not gonna still lobby for matters.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
no one's not
but that's
saying that.
I'm
No,
not
no.
saying that, but I mean, it makes a difference when the mayor is chairing the meetings. He has a right to lobby, he has a right to do, but if you want to be independent, equal branch of government, this is the way to do it. So I
I
would
thought
hope-
you would actually move beyond that issue, and I thought the majority wanted that.
They do.
The only question we're wrestling with now is this.
How does it look? And that's where we seem to be stuck. Barry, you got a question or comment?
Do you want to, how do we proceed? Can we take a vote of the committee, those that want to change, and then we'll see where it is. If we don't have enough people to vote in favor at the committee for the change, then
You're talking two changes, you're talking two votes. First vote, council president versus mayor.
Right,
Second,
Council President.
council president having a second vote to break a tie except in limited circumstances.
in limited
Now,
circumstances.
these are straw polls, I don't think they're informational at this point, you don't have the full council here,
Yeah, it doesn't really.
you have the committee, but a sense of the body would be helpful just in terms of writing.
All right, I'll even entertain it to all the council members that are
They
here.
vote on this stuff
All
at
right.
the end.
How will I pose this question? Let's see. Hold on.
Just the way
I
you
can't
did
speak
it.
like, all right, Mark, you ask the questions. First question
I
is,
guess we're raising an important issue.
What's the-
And the important issue is, you're still operating as a committee, and I'm not sure, I'm assuming that what's envisioned is at the end, the committee is going to vote collectively on all of its changes, send it back to the full council, who may accept, may make more changes before it goes back to the Charter Revision Commission. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna rely heavily on what you're doing here. So I guess the first question is, and this is just a raise your hand sense of the body. How many council persons present are in favor of the council president routinely and regularly chairing the meetings rather than the mayor? I don't even think I have to ask the communists. Okay. The second question would be, how many are in favor of the council president chairing the meetings, retaining a regular vote as a council member, and also retaining a vote under the limited circumstances of breaking a tie only with two exceptions, not on an ordinance and not on the vote for the council president? How many are in favor of that? Okay, I see only three. How many are against that? I believe the majority here are against that, so that's fine. We have our direction. Thank you. With that half hour gone, let's move on to the next.
Sorry about that.
no, this is why we're here. This is why we're here.
I'm being facetious. That was a key Taisha, you weren't here, but the council spent an inordinate amount of time on chapter 5 because that's the council's power, and that makes sense. So,
Well, that's the purpose of these workshops, is to, right? This was chapter 6.
What page?
okay, say yes or no.
Hold on 1 second, guys. We didn't get to, page 23 or 24, Mark?
I have no notes. I have one note on page 21, and I simply, and it really has nothing to do with anything you guys had said. It was a note to myself, so I have nothing beyond the bottom of page 20, to be honest with you.
Let's continue to 21. 22. They just added section titles. Section 7, miscellaneous ordinance subjects. Section 8, procedures for adopting ordinances. And then they took out some language from the current charter. And then moved down to G, to took all that out. Then section 9, process of electing officers. 23?
23?
Yeah.
On section 9, chapter 6, the process of electing officers.
Page 23?
Yeah, page 23. I don't have the most recent version, but there's a line there about the mayor shall have the casting vote for positions. I would think that should come out.
I agree.
What page you want?
23.
Page 23 of the,
Are we at the bottom?
Section 9,
yeah,
Okay.
section at 9A.
last line.
Yeah.
The mayor shall have the casting
Mr.
vote.
Chair?
Okay, so 5 vote. For any officer to be elected by the council or by the board, the mayor should have to cast his vote.
That was because, question, do
Yep.
you? Was that only because he chaired the council meetings? So he's not, he
Yes,
chaired
but
the
now the problem arises.
Because we haven't said it on this issue.
Because
Right.
although you just said we don't want, you just said you don't want the chair breaking ties. Here's an instance where, again, a tie is going to be a failure. So that's one of the consequences of not giving the chair the ability to break the tie.
Through the chairs, when the board of ed does their elected, the chair and everything, the mayor is over it,
Right.
and he only votes if there is a tie. So, can we use that type of language in this scenario?
Well, curiously enough, one of the limitations under the current charter specific to the council is that the mayor cannot break the tie in the vote for the key officer, which is the president of the city council. Now, that doesn't mean he couldn't vote for other officers, but this says all elections or appointments to any office or positions by the city council or any board. You're just gonna have to have in the back of your mind that if a person's nominated for a board or commission or any other office of the council, president pro tem, well, those are ratified members. Any appointment dies if it's a tie, that's all.
Okay.
Now, right now, the mayor chairs over the board of ed until they pick a president.
Yeah, he runs the organizational meeting. In recent years, the practice is, I think Councilwoman Pereira might have pointed out, in recent years, the practice of the mayor chairing the meeting has been actually to only conduct the vote for the chairperson, and then he turns it over to the new chair. He couldn't stay for all four, because he runs the organization meeting, but he's given deference and power to the new chair and says, I'm turning the rest of it over to you.
So help me understand. If you take the mayor out of this equation, which he's had the authority up until now, am I correct?
correct. You could make an exception and have the mayor run the organizational meeting of the council in December for the election of officers or the election of the council president. Because otherwise, you're gonna have to, you might have a sort of murky situation where the new council comes in and there's a contested fight for council president, and you're gonna be hung up trying to decide who's gonna chair the meeting.
I agree with you. I agree that since we allow him to sit in organizational meetings in other committees such as police, such as the Board of Ed, until they pick who they want, we should do that.
Now, I don't think you wanna do this, but you might. There's other provisions in the charter that say the mayor can convene meetings of bodies. I'm not sure you want to do that here. But a lot of boards over the years, for instance, the Parks Commission comes to mind. A lot of boards, if the mayor's in attendance, will let him be the honorary chair, but I don't know if you want to give that. You want independence, you want independence.
That could be ordinance.
No, not if the charter says the council president chairs.
Yeah.
No, independent doesn't.
I mean, listen, we wanted to strip the mayor of the authority of chairing the council meetings.
In entirety.
I'm not in favor of stripping the mayor of what he's been doing. All mayors have been doing it. He wants to call an emergency meeting with the Parks Board, or he wants to call an emergency meeting with whoever. He should have that authority. He is the mayor of the city, or
But
whoever.
he will not be chairing it, even if he calls it, he's not chairing.
Right.
Okay.
But he should have that authority as the mayor. If he sees something wrong, he should be allowed to call a meeting of whatever, whoever the body might be, to address whatever issue it should be. You can't take all the power away from him, man.
We don't wanna take the power.
But I'm just saying, I would need structure that we've been dealing with.
And do you want the mayor to chair the annual organizational meeting
Right.
for the council president?
Right,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
right. Right. You should
Just
do
for,
that.
I'm sorry, just for the chair, not all the officers?
We literally just want to, we don't want him to run our meetings anymore. We don't want the office of the mayor to run council meetings.
So he should do that.
I would say, if he's gonna run the organizational meeting, you would be giving him, I think, the option of staying for all the officers and the council rules. But if he wants to step out like he does in the others and turn it over to the chair, you're not doing substantive business, you're doing organizational business. So it's one meeting, organizational matters. He has the ability to turn it over to the chair, but not the obligation, unless you want it otherwise. That's the way it is with the Board of Ed, I know,
Right, he
and the
does the
police
same
commission.
thing with the Board of Ed.
So, the language on 9A speaks of any board established by charter ordinance shall be by roll call vote. So, I read that, please correct me if I'm wrong, that when the council is asked to approve a commissioner to police or fair ed commission or whatever, that we take those votes. And obviously that wouldn't be at that initial organizing meeting, well, could, I suppose. So, again, it comes back, I think, again, to the fact that an appointment could be approved or disapproved by the council without the mayor being there. So I think that should stay there, but that goes back to the issue of, yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to say.
There's current language, I'm looking for it, but there's current language in your existing charter that says, I think, votes on all appointments to boards and commissions have to be by roll call.
Yeah.
And we're gonna leave that the same.
Right,
Mayor Burr?
I'm looking at section 9A, and it says, all elections or appointments to any office or position by the council or of any board established by a charter or shall be by roll call vote, and the person receiving a majority of the whole with the limitations here, shall be elected. And then it goes on, in case of a tie vote for any officer that's elected by the city council, which means not just boards and commission, he can't break the tie for the council president. But are we saying here he can break the tie for the president pro tem? They're an officer. And all of the slate. So we know the charter says he can't vote a tie for president, but are we saying right now that because every position on the council is an officer?
Well, I think you want to change this language based on the mayor not chairing the meetings. He's not even going to be there.
I didn't
I
even
don't think
realize
you
he
want him
could break
having
any
votes.
of the
You don't want
officer.
him having any votes, as I understand it.
Okay,
Tell me
so you're saying the
otherwise.
whole sentence is coming out?
Yeah, if he's not chairing the meetings, he's not going to have the ability to jump out of the audience and place a vote.
Okay, so I lined it up.
Through the chairs, so maybe the language should say this, in case of a tie for any officer to be elected by city council or any board, the city council president shall have the casting vote.
Well, that's what we just discussed, we didn't want it.
They don't want that.
And now it's going to be,
Tie?
so
just
here's,
voted for
this
that.
is the problem. If you're, the problem is, it's not something that just fails. When you're voting and there's a tie, this is, if you remember back in the early 1980s, Ernie, you remember this, Len Paoletta broke a tie for the council president. And then they changed the charter, so you couldn't vote for the council president. So now, if there's a tie for council president, you just keep balloting until somebody gets the votes. And I think that would be the same here, because you decided not to give the council president a second vote. So every vote conceivably, I don't know how often it's going to happen, but conceivably, every vote could be multiple ballots.
Right,
The
I'm
way,
on 36.
but the difference is, on a nomination for a board of commission, there's only one nominee.
Right.
When you're electing an officer, you can have multiple candidates, and that's where you're gonna get the time. The others will fail because they didn't get enough votes.
Correct.
So I think it's not a problem, in my opinion.
Right.
Good question, Coach. So how would you reword that?
We're just gonna take the mayor out of
You
it.
take them,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
you
take
take
them
them
out.
right to
Just
council.
take
All
The whole
of,
sentence,
Yeah.
so all of A?
No,
No.
the last sentence.
The last sentence.
After the closet.
And so all you do is
In
cross
case of a
out.
vote, any officer decided by the council of the board, mayor shall be cast a vote.
So just
Just take the whole
take the
sentence
whole
out.
sentence out, or is taking all of that out, folks?
In the case, yeah, in case of a tie.
Look at us making progress.
Now, let me just ask a question.
Mhm.
Now, normally when the council president picks his cabinet or whoever he or she wants, we ain't never took no vote. It was always
Their choice.
her choice,
Their choice.
their choice on who their cabinet is. We ain't never took no votes on who the council president picked on their staff, or who she wanted to call.
Correct.
All right, and I don't see no reason to change that, because that's part of the authority that we invested in the council president, to be allowed to pick who he or she wants, to serve with her.
Okay.
I just have a question and a statement. First of all, President Pro Tem was a made-up title to fulfill somebody that was on the council,
Yeah.
right? So that doesn't even exist in our charter. Secondly, I will be in total favor to remove titles of individuals on the council because they don't suit a purpose anyway. Majority leader, deputy majority leader,
Assistant
deputy
majority
majority
leader.
leader, deputy majority leader, sergeant at arms. What's the purpose of all these titles?
Nothing.
They don't do absolutely nothing.
7 titles for 20.
It's just a title. And it causes chaos amongst elected officials that hold these titles because they think that they are authorized and have more power than all elected officials. We are elected by our constituents. We are not elected by any other council member to think that one has more authority than the other because they hold the title. So we're talking about titles and mayors and removing, and I'm in favor of removing all of it because it suits no purpose. We don't have a caucus of nothing. We attempted to. They don't do absolutely nothing.
Could I just ask one question? You do obviously want to leave in majority leader and minority leader, correct? Now, the other question is, do you want to leave in president pro tem? So when it happens a lot, the mayor's not available, to chair a meeting, the council president steps in. Now the council president's chairing the meeting. If the president pro tem cannot step in and have as his function chairing in the absence of the president, then what you have to do is take a vote to elect a chair for that meeting. Which is what Robert
So I think she
said.
was more intense with the deputy this, this, and that. Right.
But she said all, and I'm just,
Yeah,
do you want to leave that one in or not? You don't
I
have
got a
to.
question.
Yes, sir.
The reason that they don't have no abilities is because the council president didn't give them something to do. And it's been, that's some of the problem. That if you're gonna have a cabinet, then they should have something to do. You shouldn't just have a title. You should be helping your other colleagues out, making sure stuff is moving in committees. There are things that you can do. It hasn't been done, but it can be done.
I don't need to push back on everything. If you wanted to help someone, you would.
Well,
You don't need a
You don't need a
title.
title to do it.
we're talking about giving them something to do.
We all have something to do. We all have constituents, we all have committee meetings. A title is not gonna make me do it anymore faster.
We got a title, we council people.
Correct. That's,
But-
that's
But let me just finish,
In 2021, I didn't have a title and I was still doing my due diligence.
there you go.
Those that are gonna do the work will do it. But you should not limit your council president if you wanna pick folk.
To surround themselves with.
That's right, you shouldn't do that. Now, I don't care what people say, I'm telling you, the Speaker of the House, the President of the Senate, you can do it in Washington, they all got folk around them, which are supposed to be helping them with language, drafting stuff, moving business, whether it's in Harvard or whether it's in Washington.
I like the idea.
That's why they
If
do
the
it.
council
Hold on,
president,
hold on.
I'm sorry.
That's why they do it. Okay?
I wanna hear what Marcus
I
says.
was just gonna say, I like the idea if a council president knows he or she cannot be at the meeting, that there's a president pro tem that can call up and say, you gotta chair the meeting tonight, here's some important stuff, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, you're gonna show up with an unorganized meeting, and the first order of business is, who's gonna chair the meeting?
So you'll be fighting all
Now, if
night.
both of them are missing, then you have to do that. But on a regular basis, it's hard to believe you're gonna have to do that frequently. But that's just a thought.
So, again, the current revision, charter revision, says president and pro tem, right? Those two titles,
Right.
right?
Right now, it's just those two.
Those two.
That's
right?
it.
So, I agree with Councilwoman Anita Martinez just stated, because guess what? I am one that when I want to be inclusive of others, right? And some of you have received my beautiful text messages, right? And some of you do not respond, others do, right? So why do you have a deputy, whatever? Because even at those levels that you guys have been named, I cannot say, not one of you have reached out to me to say, hey, you need help. I see you're saying this. So why have a title? Why? Get rid of it.
Because the council presidents, over the years, haven't instructed folk, this is what I need you to do.
But again, the council president over the years have had individuals that she have trusted, that she has by her side or given you that opportunity, that what do? Nothing. They try to hurt her even more.
I just want to say, when I first joined the council, I didn't understand how we had all these positions when there's only 3 positions listed in the charter. It's the president, the majority leader, and the minority leader. I don't know how we added positions that the voters didn't ratify in the charter. You just can't do that. The charter says these are the 3 positions of leadership. It is true.
It is not.
Number 2 is 40% of our membership, there's only 20 of us, 40% of us are officers. We have a president, a city council president, a president pro tem, a majority leader, a minority leader, 3 deputies, a sergeant at arms, and we're a body of 20.
And a dog.
Okay, so, let me tell you, if the president is not there, and she's nominated her majority leader, the majority leader should be chairing the meeting when they're not there. So, it's just like the legislature, they make tons of people officers because they get a little extra money. It's for prestige, not that they necessarily, anything major they do. And, I don't think, it's kind of crazy that 40% of the 20-member body has some kind of officer title, and it's not in the charter. And clearly, if the president has nominated their majority leader, and by the way, we do ratify the leadership. She nominates and we ratify, so that was not accurate. She nominates, like she nominates chairs of committees, and we vote on it. So I don't know what's so bad about having what's in the charter now. The president, the majority leader who chairs in her absence, she's made them the majority leader. And the minority leader, which I think you should always have, because you never know. You could get a Republican elected. There was a few years ago, we had, what's his name from Rick Torres. So you can't say that there can't be somebody who's leading the other party, even if it's a party of 1. So I totally, and I'm very concerned about what I saw about all these positions in Chapter 5. That they can get power by 11 people through ordinance. You cannot do that. Power is granted by the people by identifying the part, just like the mayor has specific powers, the president has specific powers. You can't give any more power by an 11-member ordinance change. You list the powers you want in the charter, and the voters will ratify it or reject it at the poll. So the whole section 5 about all that is very concerning to me, and I don't know what's so bad about what's in the charter now. President, majority, minority. I don't think we need any more than that.
Because number 1, the charter doesn't say that in the absence of the mayor, the majority leader assumes the power to chair the meeting. It doesn't say that.
We can
So
put it in.
don't make up stuff.
No, I didn't say that, but we can put it in.
Don't make that up.
We could put it in lieu of the president pro tem, but I would caution you, I would not put in that if the majority leader's not there, that this hypothetical minority leader,
Correct.
you should never have a minority leader.
You never gonna have,
But
but
do you
you
think
ain't
that's
got no
gonna
minority
Right,
leader.
and even if you did.
All right, we getting out of order with this meeting. Let's have one conversation at the table, please. Otherwise, we won't be
What
finishing.
could we have, Mark?
You could simply have the majority leader assume the leadership in lieu of the president of the council. I think the concept of a president pro tem was to sort of, minority and majority leader tend to speak in terms of partisanship. The president pro tem, while a member of a party, is not necessarily leadership only of your caucus, for instance, which is what a majority leader is.
Right.
So the argument for the president pro tem, which would have to be added in to the charter, Councilwoman Pereira is correct, it's not in there now. You'd have to add it in. If you don't want to add it in, then you have the majority leader, and then beyond that, you have a vote.
Question, so you telling me that the council president, if they want to appoint some folk to certain positions, that they don't have to be in the charter, because number one,
Well, here's the answer. The short answer is, you can always put that stuff in your rules.
Thank you.
Because your
Thank
rules
you.
say.
In the rules.
Here's why,
Not the charter.
not the charter, but in your rules, because the rules say,
Yeah.
right in there, that if you don't provide otherwise in these rules, then Robert's rules controls. So if you can't do your own rules, how can you do Robert's rules? So, let's be honest, your rules are necessary to even bring in Robert's rules. But again, it does make a very little sense, and we've had this conversation previously. It makes very little sense to have all these titles with no powers attributed to them. So there's been a suggestion to get rid of the bulk of them. The question is, you know you're having a council president, you know you're having a majority, minority leader. I think the debate at this juncture is, do you also have a president pro tem? I think it's boiled down to that, in the charter at least. What you do with your own rules later on is a whole different issue.
Right.
But you want to designate somebody to assume the role in the absence of the council president. If not a president pro tem, which will have to be added in, then you're going to say it's the majority leader. Either way, I don't care, but again, we need a direction.
I support getting rid of it.
I support getting rid of it.
I support
Bare
getting rid of
bones,
it.
bare bones.
Okay, so it's going to be the majority leader who will preside in the absence of the president, correct? And then from there, it's a vote. We're not going into minority leader.
And can I just make a statement, Mark? For all the years that I've served on the council, I can just say, one time I chaired the meeting because the council president wasn't present, the pro temp wasn't present, and the majority leader has to chair.
And the mayor was, but see, now you get rid of the top level, so there's gonna be a lot of likelihood there'll be occasions where the council president's
But
not.
I'm just talking, in all the years that I've served, one time only. So, what's the purpose of all the titles?
Can I just say one quick thing? I just want to say, even if a minority leader ever ascended to chair one council meeting, what are they going to get done when the majority,
There's the other party.
nothing?
Right.
Nothing's going to get done that they think is going to
But
get
it
done.
is
So what's,
unusual that you would have a minority
Okay.
party chair of a meeting.
well, they're not going to get anything done that the Democrats don't want done. So why are we getting crazy about it? I don't understand.
All right, let's move on. So we're all set on that one?
All set.
Beautiful.
Well,
I'm sorry, Taisha.
did we establish that who votes in the, who chairs the meeting in the absence of the council president? Are we
Yeah,
not
majority
handling that
leader.
here?
Majority leader.
You're gonna okay.
That's what.
And we're adding into that section.
And this is all section 9 now?
Yes.
So a lot needs to come out of
So you can make notes to section 9, getting rid of President Pro Tem and,
deputy majority.
it's just gonna be bare bones, city council president, majority leader, minority leader. Is that correct, Mark?
When you say getting rid of them, I don't see those in
Is it
section
that?
9.
Well,
We're not gonna add them in.
right.
They're in section 5.
Okay. So we're
I
gonna
think
go
it's,
back
I think
to
it's
section
section
5.
11.
Section
They're in
5.
the
Let's see what
city
we're gonna do
council.
with 5.
No, they're chapter. I know what I said, section. So is it going into section 9 or section 12? It seems that it makes more sense in section 12 under majority and minority leader,
I
no?
got a
Yes,
question.
it does.
Yeah, that's
That's a great point.
Okay, so that's where I put it.
Yeah, let's add it there.
All right.
So section 12, which is page 24. As the use of this chapter, the term majority leader shall refer to the leader selected by the council members from the party having the largest number of members on the city council, and minority leader shall mean the leader selected by the city council members from the party or parties other than the one having the largest number of members on the city council.
And then as Taisha said, we'll add a
You're
sentence
gonna
that
insert it
says, in the
there?
absence of the
That
council
makes sense.
president, the majority leader will chair the meeting. And then we should probably, just to avoid the business of the rules governing it, we should probably add further, in the absence of both parties, then the body will elect a temporary chair for the duration, something like that.
What's your question, Eugene?
Now is it?
She left.
What am I, somebody had said, we talk about the offices in section 5. Section 5 is the Office of Legislative Services.
Yeah.
Where are we supposed to delete majority leader and president pro tem and all that stuff? Anybody know?
I think A, personnel committee, that's where they saw those offices, or those titles. That's all I see.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the
Page
personnel.
20.
Power by ordinance.
A,
Well, wait, that only talks about city council, the majority leader and the
Yeah,
minority
that's what
leader.
it talks about.
They had,
As a mention,
they
it's others.
had presidents of 31 that grew up at the library. remember?
Yes, I have a note to that, but now that's coming up.
Right.
Okay, delete. Yep,
I read minority.
I had plus president pro temp, but we never talked about any sergeant at arms and deputy this and
Yeah,
deputy
no.
that.
We didn't talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
2 hours.
So we're not doing anything with that?
We took it out.
You took it out.
So Amber's coming out.
Yeah, tired.
Is it just pro tem, Mark, or the whole thing?
No, just the pro temp. I
Yeah,
think you're
just
still
pro
gonna
temp.
have the personnel committee.
Yeah, you still got a personnel committee.
It's probably only gonna be 2 members. The reason we added the pro tem in there was in case somehow there was a tie vote. But you know what?
It's gonna be,
That's life.
That's like, yeah.
Great song.
You're not gonna have a minority leader in all times.
So what section, I'm sorry?
Section 5A, Personnel Committee.
You actually don't have to do anything there, Taisha, because it was never added in.
Right.
Yeah, it's not in
I
there.
never
Alright.
said it in there.
Well, Tim's not in there.
So now let's move to 10, veto,
What page?
23.
Page what?
23, the bottom. Veto.
we're under section 10 veto.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
What's your question, Maria?
Why would the mayor have the power to veto every vote, every resolution? The only thing he should be able to veto is budget and ordinances. Every resolution, every vote. If we vote to take to recess a meeting, he can veto that? I mean, what, that's crazy. It says every affirmative vote he can veto. Every resolution, a resolution is not even binding, okay? I agree he should be able to veto ordinances, just like the president of the United, and I believe he should be able to veto budgetary items. But how can he veto every single vote we take?
2 points. Number one, resolutions can be binding. For instance, by resolution, you approve contracts all the time. You approve a lot of things by resolution. I think the approach here, and I believe it was largely Tom Gaudette, because he and I used to have arguments about that every vote. And that's why we approached it in reverse. And he wanted to put in the things that the mayor cannot veto. And that would be organizational matters, including the election of officers, adoption of rules, committee assignments, censure resolutions, non-binding sensitive body, and those matters which have been designated by law as within the sole discretion of the legislative body. I can't think of anything else I would want to exclude, but if you have any, give them to us and we'll add them in. Because to simply try to limit the mayor to budget and ordinance, and then it occurs that, gee, there's other stuff that he ought to have the ability to veto, is the wrong way to do it. Let's list the things he's not gonna be able to veto, and that's a pretty comprehensive list already, but if you have more, add them.
Can I follow up on that?
Yes, Maria.
The President of the United States doesn't veto contracts. If the money's appropriated by Congress to an agency, and the agency expends the funds, he doesn't. He can't, if the money's appropriated by Congress, who controls the purse, which is the same here, we control the purse. The President of the United States doesn't
This is not-
veto.
The local government is not the same as
Correct.
the federal government.
That's
You
right.
do not have
And
three
we know that.
co-equal branches of government. You
We have
whatever-
two.
No, they're not co-equal.
We're
They're
co-equal.
whatever- No, they're not. There's no law that ever said that. They're whatever power is vested in each of them by law, by statute, by constitution, and by charter. And you have the ability to address that. But to take the mayor as the chief operating officer of the city out of the ability to weigh in on contracts, I think is
Bonkers.
gross overreach.
Eugene?
Listen,
You
I don't
appoint the
know,
department head.
I don't know what our council person's talking about. But the president, in his wisdom, have taken more money that's been designated for schools,
Which is illegal.
for anything. So don't sit here and say Congress can approve. He just wiped out a whole bunch of stuff that was approved by Congress, signing the law, and guess what?
He has over
It's
60
all wrong.
lawsuits.
So I
No,
don't sit
he
here,
needs to
listen,
educate him.
the mayor should not be limited in the kind of things that a mayor is supposed to do.
If you have any other areas where you think you don't want them weighing in on, then you add.
Can you read the list again?
It's on the top of
It's on
page
top of page
24.
24.
It actually starts at the very bottom of 23.
Starts on 23.
Maybe it's not. What's a 900 cents at the bottom? What is that?
These are basically administrative items that the concern was that they really ought to be council matters because they concern council operations. And that was the extent. And that makes sense, but it's not cutting into the substantive sharing of authority.
So if we make a motion to adjourn a meeting to a date certain, he can veto that. That's what you're saying?
You know what? We can try to find a way to address that if you want to add in.
If we do a proclamation, if we give somebody a proclamation, he can veto that. I'm just
No,
saying.
let's not be literal.
Well, why not? So then perhaps you just take out affirmative vote and start with resolution, order, and ordinance.
I mean, I understand ordinance, I understand budgetary.
Mark, what would an affirmative vote include that wouldn't be a resolution, order,
I'd have to
or
be honest
ordinance?
with you, I'd have to talk to the city clerk and look at all the matters that go through, such as contracts. Are they all done by resolution?
Typically,
I
yeah.
assume they are,
Yeah.
but, and that may
Not
be one
ordinance.
solution. Another may be to add some language in that says, he can't veto procedural matters such as adjourning meetings and that, of that nature. Maybe there's another way of doing it, so let's move, at the suggestion of getting through some stuff. Let's take a quick look at that and see if we can keep it up a little one way or the other.
Scott Ross.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm on the same section. And,
24, page 24.
Yep, page 24.
Mhm.
So the mayor disapproves of a matter, gets sent back to the council. It says, after such a statement has been provided to the office of the city clerk for the record, another vote shall be taken by the city council on such matter, and if it passes the council by 2/3, da-da-da. So my question, maybe this isn't important, but it says another vote shall be taken. But if the council chooses not to act on a mayoral veto, does it still have to? Or should that shall become a may?
Interesting point. I tend to think that you're already convened for this purpose, the statement's read, and then you take a vote up or down. Otherwise, the matter's gonna, you could take the position if they don't, and the 21 days expires, it dies a quiet death. But I'm not sure that there's ever been an occasion where there's not a vote one way or the other, but I hear what you're saying.
I just didn't know if it bound us to vote.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna, get a court order that tells you to vote, but I hear what you're saying. And we could put that.
It's not important, it's fine.
I think it's dispositive, because if you don't vote, it's gonna die after the 21 days anyway. But again, let's take a look at it.
Josh?
I was just gonna say, in regards to when we do resolutions, the language is very, very particular, right? So may means that we could, and shall means that we're going to. So this is saying.
You would think that, seriously, you would think that, but if you read the case law in Connecticut, shall sometimes is discretionary, it's not mandatory. As crazy as that may sound, and sometimes there are certain circumstances where may requires you to do something. You would always think shall means it must be done, but there's interpretation through legislative history and other, that there are actually cases that will say shall does not mean shall. But it certainly, if you want it to be mandatory, you should use the term shall. It at least gives you a leg up in the argument.
Oh, you all second?
Just a question, I didn't understand. Mayor vetoes something, the council has the right to override that veto, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, you're losing me, because it sounds like you're saying that the council doesn't have a right to override, or if we wait 21 days, because we have in the past overrode some vetoes that the mayor overrode them, and we acted on it. So do we still have that authority?
All right, let me just read this.
We
If
should
the
have
mayor
that
disapproves of any matter, the mayor shall within 21 days return it to the council. Okay, so I misspoke.
Right.
So you're correct and I am wrong. The 21 days, let me just see, after disapproval pursuant shall be filed with secret, not later than the close of business, 21st day is transmitted. In the event that such 21st day falls on the day with the clerk, it doesn't say anything about, I'm not picking up anything in here which restricts the time period in which you can override.
I can't remember now, but we did override some legislation.
Yeah, but
and stuff
I'm
on
not
the
seeing
tail end.
anything that, I'm not seeing anything that.
American Airlines flight with
Nice job.
The vote, well, let me look at the old charter and see if there's anything in there. Any disapproval pursuant shall be filed with the city, not later than close of business. In the event that such extended it does not, even the current charter does not appear to put a restriction on when you can overcome the veto.
It seems to-
It used to be, I can't remember how many days it was on it, but I do remember we overrode quite a bit of legislation, stuff that Lynn Paoletta had put in, because we were all Democrats. And we did override some contracts that we didn't think was right. So I'm just trying to make sure that the council keeps the authority to override a mayor veto, which, from my understanding, we always have that right to do that. And I would hate for us to take that away, or put some time frame in there, if it's 21 days, if it's whatever amount of time, we need to make sure we strengthen that.
I think the 21 days is clear. I think the problem is
There's no deadline.
there's no deadline
No.
for the council to act.
I think when we've dealt with this previously, we presumed that it would be at the next meeting when the action
Right,
was on
maybe
the
we ought to say
agenda.
that though, so it's not hanging out there.
We should say that.
You know, if the mayor vetoes something, the council shouldn't be able to override that a year later.
Yeah, no, it's typically,
We should add something in, so that's a
I
good
thought
point.
we had
Okay.
something in there from the past, but I guess.
I thought there was too, I apologize.
Because you guys are both there.
The council.
I can't, he can't stop. It's an addiction at this point, he can't stop,
In those instances where the council did override.
We did.
They always did it at the next meeting, because they
We
were
did it at the next meeting.
anxious, they were
That's right.
anxious to override.
So you're suggesting adding,
We did it
The
at the
council
next
will
meeting.
read it at the next meeting.
Yeah,
The next
at the
meeting?
next
Right.
meeting.
That's when we did
At the
it.
next meeting. We'll have the ability to override at the next meeting.
But we had a charter change before I got here, so some people might have changed it where they don't put no time frame in, but there used to be a time frame. And I think it was at the next meeting.
You may very well be right, but.
That's how we've interpreted it.
But we're gonna add that in now anyway.
Maureen?
Why does it keep saying if the mayor disapproves? The mayor just doesn't disapprove, he vetoes. And I think that's important because I know I laminated his veto of our NRZ and we're going door to door with it and we show it to every single resident in our district. So, but it's not a disapproval, it's a veto. So why is it looks like something a teacher disapproves of what you did in the classroom. He either approves.
Well, we'd have to change the prior sentence as well. The reason it says disapproves is because the prior sentence says, be transmitted to the mayor, who shall either approve it, in which case it shall become effectual.
Or veto it.
Disapprove it, we could change that to
Or
veto.
veto.
I should say veto.
We would have to change it.
Let's
in
remember,
both
that's what he
places.
wrote all over it, like a 4-year-old toddler.
Alright, take it easy.
Oh, I'm showing it to every voter.
I can guarantee that
You know?
language goes back to even before Ernie and my time. But we can change it to veto.
I mean, that's what he
In
does.
both cases, disapproval will be veto.
It should be taken care of next council meeting. No problem.
Good catch, Maria.
I'm sorry?
Good catch.
Well, it's kind of been burned in my mind.
Alright, let's move on. It'll be okay.
Yeah, right,
I guess now we would go to chapter 7, Department of Policy and Management, where they remove the word appointed and put in nominated, and put in
What page?
24. And such nominations shall be approved by the city council. I'm fine with that.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Page 24.
It's not on your version, it's not, because you have,
Under the Department of Policy and Management,
oh, is it there?
I'm just reading what the commission put in. Oh. Maria Pearl?
It doesn't say in section A, it says he nominates the city attorney and we approve, but it isn't put a threshold. Is that by a simple majority?
Are we,
You're on the-
you-
I'm sorry,
you're
are we?
on- You're on
Or seven.
OPM.
I'm on page 24.
Okay.
Last
Oh,
week, last week,
24, I'm sorry, I thought we were on
Yeah,
25.
OPM.
The council
It's not
added
gonna be
in
your
a
section.
number of
Because we
positions in
added it.
addition to the city attorney. I think their OPM, finance, we're dropping out parks because there's another mechanism for
Right.
that. And public facilities was the third.
Public facility,
right?
yeah.
What's the other one, Brother Fred?
Public facilities.
And-
Oh, finance, yeah, OPM,
Open
finance.
Finance
Public
and OPM,
facilities,
finance
attorney.
and public
So
facilities.
that,
Something else.
each one of those sections, when we reach it, has to be amended from the mayor appointing to the mayor nominating and the council approving by, I thought you wanted, but I could be wrong, majority of the whole.
Of the whole.
Majority,
Yeah.
right, right.
Okay, just not a majority.
You only
Majority.
get 2/3.
You gotta get 11
votes. You don't want to hinder the mayor from having a.
Not 5, if there's 8.
Let's move over to chapter 8, Law Department. Page
My favorite.
25.
Take that for it.
They seem to have, took out some words, added some more, I'm sorry, Sandra.
Oh, go ahead. What are you ready?
In A, they put, must be approved by the city council membership, yeah, we talked about that. I'm fine with this.
I think the city attorney
Yeah.
added the language of that, so.
For B,
Yeah,
yeah, I got it.
She added the language on approval.
and C?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
But again, are we gonna make that majority of the whole, or just approval of the body?
Majority.
I thought, does the city attorney have their own hiring mechanism, city attorney comments?
Well, there are two positions that the mayor controls within the city attorney's office, which is the assistant city attorney, is a part-time position, and the deputy city attorney.
Right.
Currently, they serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
The deputy city attorney is the only deputy in the entire charter that serves at the pleasure of someone other than the department head, which is what I was seeking to change.
Right.
This still has the approval of the mayor. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I mean, that wasn't mine,
Right.
because he's not approving anybody else's deputy.
Why is he approving yours?
So I'm not sure why he needs to approve mine, but I mean, I'll leave it up to you all to
And
make
this
the
is
decision.
for, B?
B and C.
Okay.
We should take it out.
Yeah, I agree,
Yeah,
Fred.
take that
Take
out.
that out.
What else?
With the approval of the mayor.
With the approval of the mayor.
For which one, A, B, C?
B and C.
Alright, beautiful.
So we're removing B and C,
We're just removing with the approval of the
Of the
mayor
mayor.
from those sections.
that language.
So essentially, it's changing the appointing authority from the mayor to the city attorney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the city attorney should have the luxury of hiring
Yeah.
their own
I agree.
deputy.
No, I agree.
Maria?
I don't know where that limiting language came out of from, Taisha. I guess
Maria?
So again, here, you're gonna insert in paragraph A, that is by a vote of the council, majority of the whole, you're gonna put it here?
Oh, majority of
Am I right, or no?
For,
Whenever we gotta put a threshold, so we know if we're gonna appoint, so is it 2/3? Is it only majority, or is it majority of the whole? We're saying majority of the whole.
Majority.
So it needs to be put in here.
but I thought we were giving her the luxury,
Yeah, we
that
give her the
office, the
luxury.
luxury of hiring.
No.
So
The city
the mayor
attorney.
is going to nominate the city attorney and the council will approve.
Right.
She's asking if the council
What
will
threshold?
approve by 2/3 vote or a majority of the whole.
Or a majority, but we're saying majority of the whole, 11 votes,
Okay.
Yes.
regardless of how many members are present.
Majority.
Majority of the whole, right?
Majority of the whole, regardless of how many.
Okay,
votes.
and then can I ask, but it's on the opposite page, but it's still under city attorney, can I ask that second question there?
Let me see, are we all good with page 25?
I would.
No, let's finish 25 first.
Alright, so, I'm looking at section 2, subsection A, and again, I may have an older version. It says, "The mayor in the month of December of each odd-numbered year shall nominate a city attorney for a term of years equal to the blah, blah, blah." That sounds like it refers to when we had a mayor elected every other year, so, seems to me that that should be amended, so that, I don't know, maybe it says December of 2027 and every subsequent 4 years,
No.
or some language like
No,
that.
it's for,
Unless I'm reading it wrong.
it's for a term equal to the mayor. So the mayor's on a 4-year term, the city attorney's on a 4-year term. I think when the mayor was on a 2-year term, the city attorney was on a 2-year term, and city attorney's term extends 1 month past the mayor. So appointed 1 month after the mayor, serving for 1 month after the mayor. I think it's probably for continuity.
But through the chair, the issue of each odd-numbered year,
Yeah, that's language, unfortunately, that never got corrected in the old charter.
So just take that out.
Even though the city
Where is that,
attorney
what section?
has a 4-year term.
You could just take out each odd numbered year, and it still
holds
reads,
weight?
it still reads, it'll read appropriately with removing that language.
okay,
Okay, I see.
thank you, well said.
Something, Michelle?
Nothing, just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was thinking this school.
He's passing bedtime.
All right, let's move over to page 26. Maria, you had a question for page 26?
I'm sorry, I lost my place. Okay, so the language that states the
Where are you, what section?
I'm really not sure because I don't see it. But it always said that a deputy, deputy city attorney could not be part of a union. And that has been an issue because Bohannon has repeatedly put on letterheads, he's a member of the bargaining union.
I think we did rectify that, or at least
Did you
attempt
remove it
to.
here?
No, we didn't, let's see.
We're on
We're in the
26.
law department, yeah. I can't find it anywhere, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, it's D, it's the deputy city attorney and the assistant city attorney shall be in the unclassified civil service, so unclassified civil service.
Meaning not a member of a union.
Well, that would be unaffiliated, right? I mean, you can be unclassified and still be a member of the union, no?
You can be classified
But you can't be unclassified and be a
and still
member.
be unaffiliated. I don't know of any unaffiliated employees who would be a member of the bargaining unit. Moreover, I think what Councilwoman Pereira's problem is, she didn't want the deputy position being in a bargaining unit.
Well, that's the way it's been forever.
Well, not really, because Bohannon has been acting in that position for a number of years.
Well, and I think he's been acting in that position and part of a bargaining
He is
unit
part of
because
a
he
bargaining
serves
unit.
at the pleasure of the mayor and not the city attorney, so it serves as protection for the deputy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Otherwise,
Because
if
we're
he
in this
wasn't in a
predicament-
union, the
Gotcha.
mayor could just fire him.
Gotcha.
And so now that he serves at the pleasure of the city attorney, he may not
He may
need
not.
to be, that no longer is an issue,
Gotcha.
right?
It kind of corrects
Something
itself.
Well,
But he
I'm not
still
a-
may,
I'm not
issue,
understanding.
except, you'd be asking him to give up his permanency under civil service beyond the 4-year term.
okay.
That's the problem. So why don't we go back and talk to the current occupant of the
Well,
position
you weren't.
before we start playing
So,
with.
or maybe we just take out unclassified and just say classified.
Okay, that works. That solves the problem.
So, hold on.
I mean, there is a city attorney's union, there's no reason why the deputy shouldn't be a member of the union. I mean, it still
But
controls.
that's what it
So
was.
change it from unclassified to
Because he
classified?
wasn't, yeah,
Okay.
because he was serving at the pleasure of the mayor, so the mayor could just fire him, he had no protection.
Why could they fire him and not the city attorney?
Because the city attorney is appointed for a
I have
term.
another question when you have a chance, Mr. Chair.
What you got?
Okay, we can go to section 4 there, on page 25?
Yeah, wow, wait, 25?
26,
Wait a
excuse
second.
me,
We
26.
gotta stop.
Oh, I apologize.
I know, I hate to interrupt, but under D, the assistants, I think, still would be in the unclassified, because if the, we haven't had assistants for any number of years.
Yeah, I know.
But when we did have them, even though they would now be appointed by the city attorney, they're not competitively, they'd have to be in the non-competitive
Okay.
division.
Why?
And they also never had permanent tenure, which they would gain by being in the classified. Even though you don't get your just cause removal protection by bargaining unit, if you're in the classified service, you get just cause protection through being a classified civil servant. So we really need to go back and figure out how to work these two positions.
Okay,
And we'll come back. We
okay.
gotta talk to John about how we.
All right, so we'll,
I mean, we could just remove the deputy city attorney from the statement altogether and just leave the rest of it the same, but,
Then you gotta put him in somewhere else.
okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
All right, let's work on it.
All right.
we'll come back to that.
I have one more question, but I already asked mine too.
All right, great.
I have another question on 26.
What you got?
Okay, so I'm clearly gonna be opposed
Shock.
to I'm going to clearly be opposed to any city attorney, regardless of who it is, serving as counsel to the Board of Education. I think they would easily win that in a court of law. The city council, we've always said we need our own attorney. And the city attorney has never, under the charter, been the legal counsel for us because we're not a board or commission. We're the co-equal branch of government, the legislative body. And now, how can any city attorney serve so many masters? So you're gonna serve the mayor, the city council, the board of ed, every board of commission, every department, every officer. So that was what I always argued, like, guys, the city attorney is not our legal counsel because we're not a board or commission. And now we're adding it. How can anybody, I don't care who it is, serve so many, it's not possible.
Because that's exactly what has always historically occurred. We're adding it in to clarify because of your very objection. Historically, the city attorney has always been the attorney for the council, has always been the attorney for the Board of Ed. Now, in both instances, more so with the Board of Ed, There's been supplemental outside counsel. There's been limited supplemental outside counsel for the city council. But you, Councilwoman Pereira, have constantly raised those restrictions and concerns that the plain language is ambiguous or confusing or doesn't say it. So in response to that, we're proposing to clarify it and make it very clear. And if that's what the majority will is, that's the way it's
I'm
going.
sorry,
But I'm happy to get
Hold
fired.
on, hold on.
I've been in there,
Are you sure what you're saying?
I said, you can fire me though.
but that's, nobody's saying that, nobody's saying that.
First of all,
You can-
the reason this was put in was to try to help the Board of Ed financially. They didn't just put it in because they didn't have nothing better to do. So you need to tell the whole story. The reason they offered the services was to try to save the Board of Ed some money. Now, I do not agree that our city attorney should have nothing to do with the Board of Ed.
You do not agree.
I don't agree with that. I agree if we can help them like we helped them with school crossing guards and to save money, that's what we should be doing.
If I could respond.
Okay? And the other good thing about it is, they need the help,
Definitely.
all right? They need the help.
Absolutely, they want the help.
That's
Yeah,
right.
They want it. And we're going up with them, in conjunction with them, doing an RFP right now for outside counsel.
That's right.
But
Who's
you
gonna
put
pay for
very
it?
clearly in that RFP,
City money,
that Taisha put language in there that said,
still
there's
saying.
no guaranteed work.
Got it.
The city attorney will decide if you're getting work in consultation with the Board of Ed. Because the goal is for the city attorney's office to assume more of that workload to save money.
That's right.
So that you're not paying X number of hundreds of dollars.
That they don't have.
And they've never contested, the Board of Ed has never contested, with the exception of Maria
I don't
Pereira.
know, Sayuda Baraka, Bobby
The
Finley,
rest
that's
of
not
them
true though.
Never contested our representation.
Yes, we
They
did.
welcomed us at the board meetings.
No.
I get calls each and every day from staff members of the Board of Ed with questions for which we don't bill them.
And let me just say this. Number one, in all due respect, our councilwoman is not on the Board of Ed, so she don't speak for the Board of Ed. She's not elected by the Board of Ed, so that's her opinion. That's not the Board of Ed's opinion, because they asked for the help. The city didn't run over there and say, we taking over. They said, would you help us try to save money by giving us some legal counsel?
Now, just so you know, we've always made it clear to them that if there was a policy or a legal disagreement between the city administration and the Board of Ed, they would have outside counsel to represent them. We're not gonna
They don't
create
have to go to you
ethical
to approve
problems.
it.
Jump in, boss.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, in instances where there is a conflict, we don't keep it in-house.
Right.
Right, so if there's a lawsuit that names both the city and the board goes out to outside counsel, we wouldn't keep that in-house. With regards to who pays for it, yes, they pay for their own outside legal counsel. And if we hire an attorney specifically for them, they would pay for that attorney, just like the WPCA pays for an attorney in the city attorney's office, right? So if we have an attorney for an outside agency serving full-time on our staff, it is paid for by that agency.
But that attorney is not the only one. That would just be the principal contact person.
Yeah.
The office still provides all the attorneys available for litigation, for contracts, for all kinds of other things. But they may want somebody there who can field their run-of-the-mill phone calls beyond me, and they don't have to call up outside counsel and get billed by the 10th of an hour to answer a question. So, but again, that's up to them.
If I could,
Dasha Spell.
Thank you, Chair. In regards to, and this is how I see it, could be wrong. We're all under the same city. We serve the same population. Board of Ed, boards, city council. So it makes sense that we do work with the city attorneys. And there is a line item for when you do have to have outside consultation for certain conflicts of interest. So I don't see what the problem with this is.
There isn't,
Right.
Okay.
there isn't one. It's pretty,
Clear
to the
cut.
point, pretty clear cut. But Maria Pearl?
Well, I'm the only person here who's ever been elected to the school board for 2 terms. And I will tell you that if you recall, Mark, whenever you come up to the podium and start talking, Sayuda Baraka would tell you to sit down. So, you know that.
I never sat
And I'm just
down, no
saying,
matter
you're
what
saying
side
that
you are. I never sat down.
Don't act like there's big support. In addition, the bid, which I sent to 2 of the board members, and there's this whole, they never approved that.
What's the point?
And they're gonna pay for it. They're gonna pay 100% of the
I'm not sure
cost.
what you're talking about. The
The
current
bid,
The current bid that's out
yes,
there,
yes.
they not only approved it, they drafted it.
Yeah.
We weighed in on it, they
That's
drafted
right. Let me-
Ask and
finish
answer,
talking.
no, ask and answer.
No,
You're
no,
done.
So that is a
You're
cat
done,
words
you're
and
done,
not
be quiet.
true, and all they have to do is sue and win.
I think we got a lot of work done today.
Yes.
We're back
They will
tomorrow.
not win
We're
that.
back
They're the
tomorrow.
beneficiaries of
Hold on,
every
Scott,
dollar.
what do you got?
That's it, Scott is the last caller.
Could I just, well, 2 things. One, I emailed the chairs
You did.
one piece about
Great
the
information.
decline, which I think is easy to knock out. You can share it with whoever. And then, there's an item with the,
They don't want.
timing for the school, the budget, and it's chapter 9 now, but I guess it gets bumped up to 10. I had suggested moving it to the 3rd Monday of March that we get our budget. And then it came out the 4th Monday of March. The upshot is, the 4th Monday of March might as well be April 1st, and there's no change. So I just kind of typed out what it would look like, so I'm happy to share this.
And you're speaking as budget co-chair, why that would be beneficial.
Yeah, right, so the point would be to give the council a little bit more time, flexibility, basically at about 2 weeks to,
Yeah, I'm gonna exhibit, let me exhibit this first.
the
Let me exhibit.
council, yeah, sure.
While there's a break and while the topic is still hot, I just want to say, any contract that results from the RFP that was out there and issued by Board of Ed staff, the Board of Ed president will be duly authorized and will be signing it along with the superintendent and the city attorney. That's the way we've always done it. So the Board of Ed itself will authorize the superintendent and the chair to sign that contract. But issuing the RFP is done through board staff. Contract's a different issue. There were 3 respondents, and the interview process is still to be accomplished.
I'd like to exhibit 0729 25B.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody took one.
Uh,
Oh, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's not valid.
It's explanatory.
I think this is first.
That's it. And the
I
reason
mean, I can
is
speak more if you want.
Somebody should put like, edit.
Alright, I'll 2 minutes. So right now, our budget schedule is always compressed. We have basically April, and a couple of years ago, we did formally add a second Monday meeting in the second Monday of May to vote on the budget. So that, it's really about 5 weeks. So this would give us another couple of weeks. There was also an add to, change in the amendment to add a week at the end of the cycle. And the table there shows that if everything went out as full-time, 14 days, all that, we'd be into the middle of June. It's not likely to happen, but it's possible. So I think if we kept with the same initial end date of the second Monday of May, but start 2 weeks earlier, it would take a lot of stress off the budget committee, because we also run into other committee meetings and times and other events, and we're just always compressed, and I just think it would give everyone a lot more time to digest what's going on. In fairness to the OPM, and the department heads, the first year might be a little tough to get all that in. But I think once they get on that cycle, it's still 365 days to get your budget ready from year to year. Just the first year would be more of a challenge.
But let me just say this, it gives us more time
Yeah.
because we're running around trying to meet this, do this. This is the kind of thing we need for the budget, and it gives us some breathing room. And I think it's important. Plus, we addressed what the mayor did to us, so that will never happen again on. So this is good, and so that's why they get paid the big bucks, because 90% of them, they're Xerox. So there ain't no hell of a lot of work going into it, they Xerox whatever they want to give us, so I ain't worried about that.
My budget took months.
Well,
It took months.
now it's gonna take more than that. So, we approve this, I'm gonna say.
Okay, motion for adjournment,
So move.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well,
It
you can say it, she's right here.
was
Talk to
beautiful.
yourself.
It was a work of art.